Hi, I'm Chris Sauer. Welcome to Quest for Beauty. In this channel, we explore beauty in a more meaningful way as a way of healing and transcending. And in this episode, I want to show you how when you invite plants into your house, that will not only make your house look prettier, but you're going to be happier. One thing I love doing is to name the plants. So I feel the plant's energy and then I give them a name. So I can start this relationship with the plant and call them by a name. This one we named Edmundo. This one is Lua. This is Lily. So really building this relationship with the plant, it makes it easier to grow your plants and to make it easier to know your plant is happy. And then a happy plant is gonna grow faster, is gonna grow lusher. The energy of the house is gonna be happier because of the energy of all the plants. When we moved into this house, we bought a lot of plants. And actually, I don't like saying bought a lot of plants because I don't think we own plants, just like we don't own people, we don't own animals. We invited a lot of plants to live with us, but we actually, we paid for the plants. And it can get very expensive. That's why I really like cuttings, because from one plant, you can make so many and make your house even more jungly. So I'll show you how I do it. I go in and then I find a little guy that already has a little nod. Sometimes you can even find one that already has the roots. You remove the bottom leaves, and then if there are flowers on the top, you want to remove the flowers as well, because the flowers, they take a lot of energy from the plant. All you have to do is to leave your cutting in water. Make sure you change the water every 2 or 3 days. Leave your cuttings by a window that gets sunlight. One very common mistake when you first start to take care of plants is to overwater the plants. It's like you get so excited about having plants and you want to water them all the time because you want to give them attention. And I made that mistake so many times. So what I do today, I touch the soil. I stick my finger into the soil like 1 or 2 inches into the soil, and I try to feel if the soil has water or not, and then you're gonna know if you need to water the plant, if it's dry. And you always wanna let it almost completely dry out before you water the plants again. If you're unsure about if your plants, they need water or not, you can use something like this. This is really helpful. So what you do is you stick this into the soil and then you see. So here it says it's moist. Oh my God, and then at the bottom is wet. My indoor plants, usually I give them a good watering every 15 days. And every week I splash a little bit of water. And also it makes the air inside of the house more moist, and I really like it. Another very important thing is to make sure that your plant has enough sunlight. Although some plants, it says that they are low light plants. Though they might tolerate a low light, they're always gonna thrive in the light, just like we do. Another thing I love doing is to combine plants. I think they look so pretty together because you have different colors, you have different shapes, you have different textures. When you combine plants, you help them one plant to protect the other because there's this very intelligent web of roots. So let's say one plant gets attacked by a pest and then the other one is resistant to that pest. So the roots, they're gonna communicate under the soil, and then that's gonna help to protect the plant that got attacked by a pest. Another thing that I learned is that, when you see the leaves falling, it's very important that you remove them. That's gonna go into the compost because it's almost counterintuitive. You might think that, by leaving the leaves, they're gonna end up decomposing and that's gonna be fertilizing the soil. But actually what it does is that it attracts a lot of pests. It attracts insects, and you do not wanna have that inside. Always remove the leaves and keep that for your compost. I always try to kind of like mimic nature. So when you have plants inside, it's very important to rotate them. Because out in nature, they get the sun that moves around them. So then they get a more surrounding light around them. So the plants that you have inside of your house, it's very important to rotate them every once in a while, especially when you see that all the leaves are facing one direction. You might want to rotate that so then the other side also gets sunlight. Another common mistake that beginners make is to forget to fertilize the soil. And one thing that it took me a long time to realize is that I don't need to take care of the plants, actually. Our job is to take care of the soil, because the plants, they know how to grow. They don't need anything except for water and food, and everything else they know how to do. So take care of the soil, make sure the soil has food in it. Dusting off the plants is something that's very overlooked, but it's very important to do, because when the plants have a lot of dust on them, they're not able to absorb as much sunlight. I put water in a container like this and a little bit of neem oil with a drop of soap to dissolve the oil. And also neem oil is very good because it's a pest repellent. So if your plants were on the outside, the rain would come and wash them off. So again, you want to mimic nature. You see all these new leaves coming? And they're very shiny. Growing plants sounds like the most difficult thing on the planet, but it's not. And it's a lot of fun. You're gonna enjoy, having these beautiful plants around you, and then you can develop a relationship with them, and then you're gonna see that you're gonna learn so much from them. If you have a plant sitting in a corner that's totally neglected, that plant eventually is gonna die. And you can also make a parallel between, that neglected plant in a corner and your life. What are the neglected areas of your life, the parts of your life that you're not really giving much attention, that you're not giving any water, or perhaps you're giving too much water. You're obsessing over it, and then you're blocking the flow of life. Taking care of plants also teaches me how to balance my life. It teaches me something about myself every day, something that I didn't know. And I'm very grateful. And there's this sense of gratitude that you develop by having nature around. Don't get discouraged or frustrated if you have a little accident. It's normal. And if your plant dies, I'm sure that's gonna teach you a lesson as well. So when I first moved into my now husband's house, he had this beautiful cactus that he's had for years, and it was doing much better before I arrived because I didn't pay attention to what the cactus needed, and I overflowed with water. And then of course, a cactus is a desert plant and doesn't need a whole lot of water. But because I wasn't really paying attention to that, I was just dumping water here and dumping water there without, paying attention to the cactus. So then I ended up killing it. And that has taught me a lesson to always pay attention to what the plant is saying. Like, does it need water? Does it need sunlight? Does it need to be left alone? Because sometimes that's all they need, because they know how to grow. Please leave in the comments below if you have any experience growing plants, how did that go? If you like the video, or if you have any questions, I would love to hear from you and the progress about turning your house, your little cocoon, into a beautiful jungle. And what are the lessons that you've learned with plants and nature? So thank you so much for watching. Wish you a beautiful day.